We could have perhaps had a bipartisan bill out of the House, except for the unified rejection of climate change on the other side of the aisle. Transportation is the largest single emitter of CO2 pollution in the country. This is a critical threat to our country, to the world, and we have to deal with it. And the bill we wrote and passed would have dealt with that very meaningfully and moved us into 21st century infrastructure. This bill contains some of those elements that even the Republicans on this side would not support. EV charging, nope, not in their bill. Electric buses, nope, not in their bill. Electric school buses, nope, not in their bill. None of those things were in their bill. In fact, their bill, which they offered, the only alternative, which they didn't even offer on the floor, by the way, because they don't really have an alternative, was $350 billion for highways, status quo, with an increase in spending, no changes in policy, except for the one, whatever Rodney Davis's thing, which is in the Senate bill that got NEPA. And then transit flatlined over 5 years, and rail, zero, goose egg, zero. No wastewater, no reconnecting communities, no drinking water, no lead pipes. And by the way, every billion we spend on wastewater or drinking water creates 20,000 good-paying jobs. No broadband in their bill. And the list goes on and on. So we don't have a real alternative on that side of the aisle. And should they help to vote this down, they oppose it, then they have no answer. The answer is continuing resolution, status quo funding, flat funding, not dealing with the 400,000 bridges in America that need substantial repair or replacement, the 40% of the national highway system, which is deteriorated to the point where it has to be rebuilt from the roadbed up, the $100 billion backlog in transit, a decrepit rail system, just had a derailment, people died, and they're going to put $0 into rail in their bill. Wastewater systems that back up into basements or flow into rivers, and water mains that burst. We have to deal with these things. It didn't used to be partisan. The problem is we also believe in dealing with climate change, and they can't admit to climate change because Donald Trump says it's a myth, and you can't defy Donald Trump on that side of the aisle. That's very, very sad. At least these 19 Republican senators nodded toward it. They included money for EV charging, electric buses, in the bill. They, at least a little tiny nod. They did take out our mandatory greenhouse gas reduction program. They did take out our critical fix-it-first principles. But, we will improve on the bill with new novel programs in the reconciliation process yet to come and deal with some of those issues. Deal with the greenhouse gas reductions, deal with more transit, more rail, more wastewater in different ways, drinking water, lead pipes, all those things will be in the reconciliation bill yet to come. But simple, plain and simple, the bill before us today is the infrastructure bill, the only option. I'd like to thank all my staff. There's too many to list in the time that I have remaining, so I'm going to ask unanimous consent to put that list in the record. They did an absolutely phenomenal job putting this whole package together twice, two Congresses, real legislative process on this side of the hill, even though the Republicans lost, they participated in the process. Not so much on the other side. Someday we might get back to regular order. And with that, I conclude and urge my colleagues to vote in favor of this legislation.